Hey, Chamber members, Alan Waters here, your Director of Marketing and Communications at the Montgomery County Chamber of Commerce and your Words of Wisdom podcast. Today I am joined by
Garry Norris, the owner of Express Employment Professionals in the Roanoke and New River Valley areas.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank
So,
you.
the first time I have anybody on, the first question I ask is, what does success mean to you?
Success to us means two things because we are in the people business. Help and hope. Success for us means helping as many good people find jobs for as many good clients as we can.
All right.
And second, hope, giving people hope to find a job and or a career that they may not have otherwise been able to find on their own.
I like that separation of job and career because I do think that is it's a really good distinguish. Wow, that word just left halfway through. Distinguishing. What am I trying to say here?
Distinguished.
Yes. I think that there are some people who go in and it is perfectly fine that you are working a job. I think it's different when you're trying to make something into a career. And I also think careers can span multiple kinds of jobs. I like to think myself as a marketing professional, but I've not always worked as a marketing director or
Right.
communications.
Right.
So
Well, let me add something to that.
Yeah.
Look at it this way. So we have, on average, 106 clients per week that we serve, with about 240 people spread out across those clients. And it could be more because we have greater capacity. Now, many of our clients want to evaluate that person before they hire them. So we give them a 90-day or 720-hour evaluation period. We give them a pay rate for the person that works for us, our associate, and then we bill the client with a small profit in between. While they get to evaluate the person gets to evaluate them. And if both work out, they hire that person on full time. They just found themselves a career.
yes, I like that too when they're evaluating them because sometimes it's not going to be a good fit no matter what the situation may be.
Right.
So I want to probe and ask that what does success mean to you question because I like that you've given that answer from Express Employment. For you personally, does that differ any? Is the meaning of success for you as a person changed or evolved over the years?
I think not. I'll answer that question this way because what it's allowed me to do, since you asked personally, is to branch out to serve on several board of directors. And I didn't seek those. I was asked to go on those because of the relationships that we have built in the community. I told you earlier when we were talking privately, we are not a transaction-based business. We're in the relationship-building business. So success for us is building relationships, servicing and providing solutions for clients, and also servicing and finding jobs and careers for people.
So I'm going to jump back. I'm not going to say how long I'm jumping back, but to high school. You're getting ready to graduate. What was it that you wanted to do at that time?
Be an accountant.
Be an accountant. All
Because
right.
I was really good at math.
All right. And so how has that journey gone from wanting to be an accountant to where you are now?
Well, so I went to college, University of South Carolina undergrad, got the accounting degree, was supposed to sit for the CPA exam at some point in time, and I said, this is not what I want to do. I don't want to sit at a desk doing this. I want to go out and see the world. So travel was pretty big for me at the time. And also I wanted to work for a very large Fortune 100 company. IBM recruited me.
Oh, okay.
18 years later, I moved on.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was it about? Was it just the sitting at the desk, or was it as you were going through college, as you were going through the pieces training you for this, that you were realizing, while I may be good at numbers, I'm not going to be good at this? What were those pieces that kind of led to that decision?
I'll go back to the travel and developing relationships. I wanted to be very socialize, but socialize while building business relationships. And that started at IBM. IBM fortunately recruited me shortly after I graduated from college. And that helped build me along the way. Yeah.
The transition from IBM to business ownership with this, how did that come about? Was it just timing?
No, I was recruited away from IBM
Oh, okay.
after 18 years not wanting any other job because I was perfectly happy there. But this little company called Kodak and its health imaging division or medical imaging division, which made the x-ray equipment, the digital radiography, computer radiography, pulled me away, and it was so much it was an offer that I couldn't refuse. Let's put
Right.
it like that. And I became the chief marketing officer for their medical division, which was a $2.4 billion division. And that was a very good company and the only profitable division in Kodak at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
As a photographer and as a marketing professional, I have heard actually this week for the fourth time stories about Kodak and how you have to evolve with the market and make those changes. So
That's right.
to hear someone that was in the division that was profitable, not the ones going, let's not worry about digital cameras, is good to know. So you were there. How long were you with Kodak?
4 years.
Okay. And was there something beyond that, or was that then moving to Express?
No, not to Express yet. I then took an assignment with Cardiac Science Corporation
Okay.
as their chief marketing officer out in Seattle, Washington. 18 months, rebranding the company. And after that assignment was done, it was time for me to go open my own business. I was ready.
And what was it about business ownership that seemed to entice you at that point? Was it moving on? Because, I mean, right now you've had a very long, very healthy career helping others rebrand, make adjustments, moving forward. Where did that shift happen?
It's simple. I wanted to be my own boss.
I think fair. I think it takes a special person to be their own boss, though, because the discipline it takes to actually get everything done. It's easy to think, oh, small business ownership is easy, but I think it's far, far, far from easy. So, were there any learning adjustments that you had to go from working in a general office environment, working with others, to now being your own boss?
Well, yeah, I think and I'll go back a little bit, the experiences that I gained, because when you work for IBM and Kodak too, it's almost like being in the military. They moved me every 2 years, assignments in Connecticut, then New York, then Texas, then going overseas to Japan or wherever I was being sent, I went. And that's how you grow in your career with big companies like that. Kodak moved me from Raleigh, North Carolina to Rochester, New York. A year and a half later, they sent me to Brazil. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Big change there. And with that travel, do you think the access to different cultures, the different workplace culture and identities in the different location, has that helped shape that help and that hope mindset that you have in terms of company?
Without question.
Okay.
I think without question. It helped me really get a good understanding of people from all backgrounds and all situations and be able to adjust my style, my management style, to various situations, what we call situational management, and to various people.
With your work, most of it's marketing based. Express employment, where you're placing people in various jobs. I mean, I've seen your post. It's there's manufacturing, there's office work, there's in between and beyond. Where did that translation go? Why not open a marketing business or open something related to the field? Why not that?
Believe it or not, I got tested using all these testing procedures that they use to see what type of business would be best for you. And those testings were done, and it came to the top that a B2B, not a B2C, business to business. I definitely didn't want to do business to consumer, so nothing that was retail or oriented. Right. And then the imaging business came to the top because I was already in imaging, and then the people business. Those two came to the top.
So it's 2008.
Yeah.
You're going in, starting a company. Was this before housing had fully, the bubble had burst? Was this after? How did that impact that transition period?
I couldn't start a business at a worse time. It was the worst possible time, with the economy tanking as it was, the housing market tanking, the financial market tanking, no banks wanting to loan you money. I mean, I used my 401k to start this business, right? And I risked it all.
Yeah.
And it paid off beautifully.
I'm glad, because definitely a period where that wasn't always the case. And I think when you're going into a business, and any business is going to be a risk, how were you making sure that you were making that in a very calculated way, that you knew? I mean, let me step back, because I feel like you can think but there are a lot of people who've gone into business who've taken that risk that they knew they couldn't fail. How did you prepare yourself to go into the business and be prepared for the time it's going to take to make that successful, make that into the growth-minded opportunities that you need to progress.
I'll credit two things. One is IBM paid for me to go to Duke to get my MBA. So that MBA certainly helped. But then it was what I learned at IBM to perform due diligence before you make any major decision. So you mentioned, I started it in 2008. I started due diligence in 2007.
And I think that's something we talked about it earlier this year in our Business 101 series when I sat down with the New River Valley Regional Commission. We talked about the amount of research that needs to go into anything from not just the market that you're going into, but also the specific location your business may be. What is your advice in terms of that due diligence and that research and that preparedness that a small business owner really needs to start taking into account beyond just, do I have the money, can I do it?
Well, it's more than that obviously. You have to really evaluate the type of business that fits your personality, that fits your character and your characteristics. What are you good at, right? So I was good at people. I was good at developing relationships. And coming from IBM, I was good at selling also. So not just marketing, different, selling. So I think that someone has to evaluate what their background and skills are that they're going to bring to the table before they even look at what they want to do. And once they've decided that and they know the type of business they want, then they have to research the industry, the location, the region, the background, the future prospects for success, the growth for the industry, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot that goes into that.
All right. We'll get more in depth in just a second, but we're going to take a quick ad break before we go on. At Express Employment Professionals, they're not just a staffing provider. They're architects of success and builders of hope. Express Employment is dedicated to connecting job seekers with opportunity and helping businesses thrive with top-tier talent. Since the company's inception in 1983, they've empowered over 500,000 individuals annually through their extensive network of franchise locations. Their long-term goal is clear: to help as many people as possible find good jobs by helping as many clients as possible find good people. Join in shaping brighter futures and building hope through employment at expresspros.com. That's expresspros.com. Back to the episode. All right, we're back. Before we dive back in, I want to thank Grand Home Furnishings for providing our furniture in this room. One, making it feel more comfortable, and two, helping us sound better. So thank you, Grand, for doing that. Do you think, I asked this question to someone earlier actually, with AI and how that's coming into effect, there have been so many major disruptions, major changes, major innovations. For your industry, how do you think AI is going to start playing into with what you do? Because I, at least maybe this is a personal feeling, I don't think AI is going anywhere. I think it is going to become much more integral into almost every facet of the business and the workplace. For you, looking at that future, how do you anticipate things?
Well, AI will play an important part in the future in the various jobs, industries, et cetera. But there will still be people-intensive positions that have to be filled, and people-intensive positions that have to run the AI.
That's we had a workshop earlier this year where our presenter mentioned AI is probably not going to take your job. Someone who knows how to use AI may be the one to take your job.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, I mean, it is, even in the past year, the advancement has been extraordinary. Working with people, working with the different job facets, all those places, and going back to what you said earlier of evaluating one another, how do you as a company evaluate who those that you're working with? Do you ever hit a point where it's, hey, we've had a lot of negative experiences, negative reviews, maybe we need to step back? How do you evaluate your partners?
I'm smiling because it is said about this industry that we sell the most unreliable product in the world. People. Having said that, What we look for in my company are three characteristics. We call them JIT. The first one is judgment. We look for people that have good judgment, and we view that based on what they've done in the past. Second, we look for people that bring ideas to the table. They don't just go to work to do a job and sit in a corner. And the third, the T, is teamwork. We always like to say Michael Jordan was great, but he couldn't have done it without Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman. So it's a teamwork thing that has to be done. So JIT is what I have instilled in my employees who hire the people. Remember, we have internal employees who hire all of the associates that work for us.
Right. Yeah. And with your business, how are you also making sure that those employees that are working for you are continuing their development, those education pieces? Because to me, I think it's great to get in the door. It's not often that you get in the door and you're just there and you're done and it's there. You're constantly learning and working. What opportunities have you got, and what pieces do you bring to the table in that same vein of constantly searching for how do I better?
So we provide development plans for all of our employees, but we invest in them, right? So we send them, whether it's going to Washington, D.C., California, Texas, Chicago, wherever those conferences are. We select for them where they go, and we send them off to do that training. We even send them to other offices that we don't compete with. They're Express franchise also,
Right.
But to learn from other franchisees who are just as successful.
Changing gears a little bit, I'm not from here, and I'm glad that we are. My wife is originally from here. That's kind of what led us to the New River Valley. But what led you to decide the New River Valley, the Roanoke Valleys, that's where you wanted to have Express Employment, your franchise?
Okay, so I grew up in Charleston, South Carolina. School, you already know, USC, undergrad,
Yeah.
Duke MBA. And having lived and moved all over. So once I decided that I wanted to buy a business, one of the things that you have to decide is, where do you want that business? So as I was looking with the business broker that I was working with, I told him anywhere from Virginia to Key West, Florida, nowhere further west and nowhere further north. And I preferred Charleston. I tried to buy the business there, but the owner there said, "No, I'm not selling this business right now," because he was already profitable, and he would not sell. Roanoke was the next one that popped to the top based on the criteria that we had set out.
Okay.
I came down, did a visit, did some due diligence, and talked to the then prior owner and decided this is the right one for me.
As someone who's just across the river from you in Charleston, I grew up in Savannah, Georgia.
Okay.
So I understand. Do you think now that you're here, obviously, the business mindset was this is where you could go and grow. Do you think you miss any of the heat, any of those pieces that much?
I would have to say no. I've developed too much of a strong relationship with people in this area now, given all the boards that I sit on and all the people that we have hired and sent on to other careers, other owners that I have hired and made owners. I'm settled here. We're here.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we're here.
My wife and I are in that process of this is where our roots are. We're looking forward to. But my parents every so often they're like, "Oh, when you coming back?" And the last time they asked, it was 109 there, and I said, "That's your answer." Well, where can everyone find Express Employment Professionals? Where can they reach out if they're interested in working with you, either as someone who's looking to be an associate or a business that is in need of your services?
So website, www.expresspros.com. Click on Roanoke, click on Christiansburg. We have two offices, one at 1910 Electric Road in Roanoke. It's a very big office, 4,400 square feet. Another office here in Christiansburg, 3225 Franklin. That's another 3,000 square feet. We have lots of good internal employees that work with our associates and potential associates every single day. They do TikTok videos. Some of them are very, very funny when they do them. We also have Instagram. So there are many, many places that we can be found. And like I said earlier to you, we've enjoyed quite a good reputation. 17 years we've been doing this. So people know who we are.
As that business owner and looking at all those social media platforms, what is your approach to your internal marketing as you're looking for because I've seen quite a few where it's, hey, you're looking for this particular job and those, but I think when you're looking at marketing, it goes beyond that. You're trying to do those emotions. You're trying to see what people need. what does your internal marketing strategy kind of look like?
So we try to appeal to people's needs. It's that simple. It's basic marketing 101. What are the needs that they have, and what are the services that we provide that might match up with those needs?
Right.
It's that simple of a concept. And then we put everything else around that.
With choosing the platforms, though, and going to the, because I know a lot of people, I think TikTok is fantastic, has a lot of great purpose. I see some people who are like, oh, I'm going to go on TikTok, and they get 1 or 2 videos out. And there's just not that consistency. What was your decision to look at some of those platforms, and why are those the platforms you're on?
Well, we looked at the audiences also, and the audiences that we were appealing to. We have a certain group that we look for, and even within the age groups that might use those services. And we make sure that we're consistent in how we do them and what we do. It's twice a week on TikTok, twice a week on Facebook. We boost the Facebook posts that we use, so that we pay for that as well. And then everything else that we do around that, including internal proprietary services that I can't tell you about.
Right, yeah. We'll go off the air, right? So as well, in that same marketing and the relationship piece, being a chamber member, being involved with this organization, and I'm sure other organizations, where do you look at the strategy of it versus where are you looking at, okay, this is just an opportunity for us to give back to the community that we're in?
Expand on that.
So I think I often, and maybe this is just myself personally, I often think that there is a piece to any organization like the Chamber where you are there to better yourself professionally. You are there to make those connections to the referral network. But we like to tell our case members, when you're coming into case, it's with a giving mindset. If you're always giving, eventually it is going to get back to you versus coming in with that, if I get this out of it, it's worth it. Get the return on investment, which return on investment is important. So with your approach to memberships, how are you going into things with that giving mindset? And I say this as our 2022 Business of the Year recipient. Obviously, it's something where you're very involved with not just our chamber, I'm sure, up in Roanoke as well.
Roanoke, Salem. Yes, we're involved in multiple. I think you just referenced it, the fact that we won 2022 Business of the Year. That was very rewarding for us. And we didn't chase that.
Right.
We did that by performing the services that we do and helping the people that we help and helping the clients that we help. So in joining the chamber, sure, there's some objective to let's get a return on investment, but let's build relationships with the people. Remember, we talked about social relationships, and it's one of the reasons that we're in the chamber, and in the chamber in Roanoke, and in the chamber in Salem. Develop those social relationships that can help us help other people.
And that's why I ask, because I think it's the helping other people part of things that it's easy to miss. But I also think when you help that, it's like I said, it's the emotion. Someone remembers being helped. They remember that person who was there for them so much more than the person who just called up and said, hey, I've got something that I think will work for you. We appreciate y'all.
So one of the founders of our company, who recently passed away, unfortunately, but he was like 85 years old, he said, you're only as successful as the last person you helped. He drilled that in all of us. And then there was one other one that we always like to talk about, because I've seen Zig in person multiple times, Zig Ziglar. Zig said you can get everything out of life you want if you just help enough other people get what they want.
I love that. And I think full circle brings it back. What does success mean to you? I mean, that's where success, I agree full-heartedly.
Yeah.
I'm a new father, and so one of those, thank you. One of those pieces for me is I want to leave everything better for her than what I was able to, which my parents did a fantastic job, love them to death, but I want to do better. I always want that because I want it to be more for others.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for being here with me. I appreciate everything you've said and the insights that you can provide. Thank you for telling us where we can find Express Employment Professionals. If you are looking to work as an associate, please make sure you reach out. If you are a business that believe you can benefit from their services, reach out. Any final parting pieces you want to give our audience?
I think it's important to let people know that we serve all industries and all sectors. So we provide medical, legal, dental, manufacturing, automobile, very high on our list. And we provide 4 services: direct hire, where we'll find someone for a client, we bill them a fee; contract hire, where we'll place people on a contract for a certain period of time. It could be 6 months, it could be a year. We do what's called evaluation hire, where a client looks at the person looks at the client for 90 days, 720 hours, and they can each evaluate whether they want to go to work for that person or not. And the last one is what we call flexible staffing, where we can provide 10 people tomorrow if a client needs them for 1 day or for 10 days. That's the business that we're in.
Well, if you have a job of any kind, that's who you need to contact.
You need to call us.
So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, members, for listening. Please make sure you like, download, subscribe, all the things so you never miss an episode or any of the other content that we're putting out, including Eggs and Issues, Lunch and Learn, small business workshops, and beyond. You can find all of that on our YouTube channel. While you're out there, please make sure you're investing, connecting, engaging, and prospering.